Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm your host, Ralee Marks, and let's take a look at today's top stories. The biggest story making news is the latest discovery by the Israel Defense Forces of another terror tunnel, this time from Gaza into Israeli sovereign territory. Now, this was discovered while the IDF were constructing their subterranean barrier, and these barriers are in place to try and prevent the building of these tunnels. And this comes just after a drone was flown from Gaza into southern Israel, also discovered and shot down by the IDF. At the moment, the IDF are determining the route of this terror tunnel, but these tunnels are used to smuggle weapons from Iran. Sometimes they are used to try and attempt kidnappings or even worse. And a little bit later, we're going to talk about the fact that it's the 5th anniversary of Operation Protective Edge, or Mivtza Tzuk, which started as a result of these terror tunnels. But before we get to that, let's talk lobsters. Lobsters, I hear you ask? Yes, lobsters. So in news that is causing quite a lot of controversy here in Israel, it was discovered that, or rumored, that Israel's ambassador to Brazil, Yossi Shelley, was snapped eating a very, very mysterious lunch with Brazilian President Bolsonaro. Now, the jury is out. Were they eating lobster? What else were they eating? Because the offensive meal in question was blackened out. But it has sparked quite a bit of debate here. Some people saying that, this is counter to what the State of Israel stands for, and that even if you are a representative of the State of Israel, as a diplomat who may be secular, who may not personally observe the laws of kashrut, the laws of kosher, when you are representing the country, you need to stick by these rules. Now, the ambassador has said that there were all kinds of different meals, including salmon, that were available, and that while he didn't partake in the offensive lobster eating, he also did not push it away. And the reason for this was he didn't want to offend his hosts. But to make a mountain out of a molehill, or in this case a lobster tail, here we go. And earlier on I mentioned that it is the 5th anniversary of Operation Protective Edge, and we remember the 67 soldiers who gave their lives in defense of the State of Israel. And we also remember Hadar Golden and Oron Shaul, whose remains are still being held by Hamas, and the valiant efforts by their families to try and get those remains back. But also a lot of discussion around this anniversary, many opining, have we learned anything from this operation that cost us quite a few of our brave soldiers, an operation where we haven't really defeated Hamas as they tend to, or there are escalations from time to time with rocket attacks, with mortars, as we saw several weeks ago from the Gaza Strip, as well as this new strategy of incendiary balloons and kites that has burned thousands and thousands and thousands of very important Israeli agricultural land. And on the other side, there are those that are of the opinion that maybe it's time for a strategy session to change, but we did deal Hamas a decisive blow. So I would be interested to hear your thoughts, and you can opine politely, please, in the comments below. And we also remember that Mivtza Tzuk started because members of a kibbutz, in this case Netiv Asara, very close to the border with Gaza, reported of a scratching or a funny sound coming out from under the ground. And it was discovered after the kidnap and murder of 3 young boys from Israel, Eyal, Naftali, and Gilad. It was discovered after they were kidnapped just to what Hamas was up to. And we remember those 3 boys, and we remember that they paid with their lives, but they brought to the knowledge a very, very ugly plan indeed. And our hope is that their memories, along with all who lost their lives during Operation Protective Edge, be for a blessing. But it is definitely food for thought. How does Israel proceed going forward with a strategy on Gaza? Now, if you're looking for some interesting reading material, look no further than Lay of the Land. You can check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. You can read Rachel Shem Tov's very moving article called Still Crying, the Beloved Country. It's about her experiences growing up in apartheid South Africa and her opinion on the situation there. Now, you can also check it out on Facebook. And if you haven't liked us or followed us, do so this very, very moment, and you will be updated when we post content. And also, if you like your news and you're viewing this on YouTube, click on the subscribe button below and you'll get your daily updates to a device near you. I'm Rolene Marks with the Israel Brief. We'll chat again tomorrow.